The Birth of Form, leveraging Einstein's wisdom. Introduction, from insight to emergence. Einstein's equation, E equals mc2, is often quoted but rarely questioned. Its elegance masks a deeper mystery. Basically, how does energy become mass, and how is form itself born from resonance? Most see Einstein's equation as a final truth. But what if it's only the beginning? The theory of relative gravity picks up the thread where Einstein's insight left off. It asks not just what the equation tells us, but how its symmetry unfolds in real structure. It proposes that mass is not a given but a consequence. That energy, guided by coherence and filtered through impedance, doesn't merely convert. It evolves. Here, we treat E equals mc2 not as an endpoint, but as a dimensional crossing. One that marks the transition from surface to volume, from resonance to body, from motion to memory. The path is not linear. It follows phases C, C2, C3 as each a stage in an emergent layer of coherence from the sea of chaos. This is not a redefinition of Einstein's wisdom. It is its continuation. A framework where relative gravity extends the conversation, revealing how structure is not imposed, but selected. This document is the first articulation of that view. A new lens on the old formula. An invitation to see mass not as a thing, but as a song. Abstract chaos is not emptiness, but fullness as an overcomplete state saturated with potential harmonics. In such a state, coherence is not imposed, but assumed in relative gravity to emerge. When a harmonic is selected and sustained, it creates a track of stability that unfolds into surface, then thickens into body. This paper outlines a three-stage dimensional emergence starting from a line-like resonance C, to a radiative surface C, to a volumetric body C where each is born from alternating current dynamics, phase alignment, and selective impedance. These stages reveal how structure arises not from nothing, but from filtering what was already there. By leveraging Einstein's foundational relation E equals mc, we reinterpret mass as the outcome of resonance convergence and frame it within a larger harmonic architecture. A historic glance, Einstein's wisdom, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, reshaped the foundation of modern physics by showing that mass and energy are not distinct entities, but interchangeable. His landmark formula, E equals mc, revealed a profound symmetry between matter and energy. The speed of light squared became the conversion factor that tethered them. In Einstein's view, mass is simply energy at rest. It is condensed, bound, and waiting. But Einstein never fully explored where this transformation takes place in the structure of the universe, or what governs the conditions under which energy becomes mass. His insight opened the door, but did not map the terrain beyond. From Einstein to relative gravity takes Einstein's equivalence as a point of departure, not to dispute it, but to integrate it within a broader theory of form. In RG, mass does not simply exist, it emerges. It is the outcome of coherence reaching a critical point in dimensional resonance. The equation E equals mc is not a universal statement, but a dimensional cross-section of a process unfolding across harmonic tiers that RG represents as relative mass, or Rm equals EC2. In this framework, C is coherence along a path 1D resonance. C is coherence across the surface radiative skin. C is coherence enclosed the body with internal rhythm. Mass arises at the threshold between EC and EC. It is the measurable form of energy that has begun to hold itself oscillating within a bounded manifold. This places Einstein's equation inside the dimensional architecture of RG, a hinge between motion and structure. Chaos is fullness. In the context of relative gravity, chaos is not random. It is complete. It carries every potential mode of vibration, phase, and structure. Think of it as a dense broadband field, filled with unresolved resonances. Any form that later emerges was already present, waiting. The challenge is not to impose order, but to allow certain harmonics to survive. This survival depends on two key things: phase convergence and impedance. When pockets of fluctuation align in phase and the surrounding impedance permits their persistence, coherence is born. Selection of a harmonic C out of the broadband C, a single mode will often gain dominance. This fundamental harmonic, seen as the first dimensional coherence, is what we call C-AC at the speed of light. It is not arbitrary. It is selected through constructive interference and supported by the surrounding medium. The analogy is alternating current, i.e. energy back and forth in phase, sustaining a stable oscillation. At this point, coherence exists along a single path as a 1D expression. This is C. Expansion into radiative surface C. A single path can now begin to entrain others. Through lateral coupling, this resonance spreads across the surface. Like ripples on a pond, coherence tiles across dimensions. This is not a flattening. It is viewed as an expansion. Phase-aligned neighbors begin to share energy. Interaction now scales with area. The energy moving through this sheeted resonance follows the geometry of radiative spread. Phi R4 pi are proportional to square ret. This defines a surface. E, the dimensional promotion to C. A skin of coherence. Closure into a volumetric manifold C. When the surface can wrap without breaking phase. When the oscillations align even along curved or closed paths, the sheet becomes a body. This is resonant phase convergence. The result is a manifold with internal standing structure and a boundary that can now radiate outward. This body is not separate from its environment. It exchanges energy, yet also retains it. Its form is the consequence of sustained timing and harmonic closure. This is C3, the emergent manifold. Not built from the outside, but revealed from within. Relative mass in. Harmonic structure. Einstein taught us that mass is energy bound by the square of the speed of light. Relative gravity accepts this, but sees it not as a fixed truth, but as a moment in the evolution of coherence. In this framework, mass appears when resonance, expanding from C to C, converges at the threshold of C3. That threshold C is not arbitrary. It is the point at which energy ceases to flow outward and begins to hold form. Thus, relative mass is not merely a quantity. It is an expression of held resonance, a summary of coherence shaped by the dimensional phase it occupies. If the body oscillates in C, its observed mass naturally sits in C. It is the visible echo of its internal convergence. Implications. Each stage is already latent in the chaos. Emergence is recognition. What we call a particle, a field, or even a galaxy may be understood as a resolved resonance within a broader sea of possibility. These bodies are not inserted into the universe, they are outcomes of the universe resolving its own noise into coherence. Einstein's equation was a hinge. Relative gravity leverages it and then continues it. Mass is no longer just energy slowed down. In RG, it is energy resolved in time. And just like in music, it is not the silence that defines the song, but the selection of what to carry forward. Watch the interview Let the Monkey Speak. Click the image to watch the companion video, 21st Century Science, the Relative Gravity Interview,